I think in Chris Bryant's career, probably anywhere, that he's been the enemy. And it has to do with some, he called St. Louis a boring place in one of those Cubs caravan things in the offseason, and it got picked up, and St. Louis fans are all up in arms about it. So they're going to boo him like crazy tonight. It does add a little more flavor to what is already a great rivalry.
Have you ever been to St. Louis?
All right, I will tell you, this will take 1 minute. One of the worst nights of my life.
Exactly, yeah.
But it wasn't St. Louis's fault. It really wasn't St. Louis's fault. This was a flight from Boston to out here.
Uh-huh.
So one of my folks was still alive, so I was, making trips back and forth. And big snowstorm in the east. It was in Boston, and it messed up all the flights across the country.
You're on the floor of the airport?
No, I got our flight out of Boston was on TWA, and it was unfortunately the last flight into St. Louis. I'm talking the last flight. So whereas everybody else had been assigned to the nicer hotels in St. Louis, because that's what the airlines did back in those days, they put you up in nice hotels. If it was, they didn't make you sit on the floor of the airport. Airline travel is a lot more fun then, okay? Especially if you're flying first class. Well, there wasn't even a hotel in St. Louis. We ended up at a place called Noah's Ark in St. Joseph, Missouri. Okay? They had the door handles on each room were a different animal. This place was awful. I mean, it was just it was horrible. Okay? They had nothing to eat. There was like a vending machine someplace. I got a Snickers bar or something.
So Chris Bryant was right.
Well, and it got worse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
In the morning, now they got to take us to the airport. Mm-hmm. And this is just one of those weird things. I'm kind of a control freak at times. I don't like sitting in the back seat.
Okay,
I want to be. So we got a limo, and it's like, I'm going to sit in the front. I'm sitting in the front.
Oh, you're
seat.
the weird guy.
No, I don't. I just don't like. I like being
sitting in the front seat of a limo instead of in the back of the limo with everybody else.
I didn't want to be with everybody else anyway. Yeah. I'm tired. I'm irritable. So just hello, blah 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 with the driver. This is in the 1990s, okay? So it might have been
TWA, this is the 80s.
Late 1980s. Mm. The driver of the car watches Proline. Okay. It's like, now he wants to talk football all the way to the airport. It's like, oh God, what else can go wrong here? Because he's a nice guy, but I just didn't want to. I was just tired, man.
Sure, not in the mood to chat.
No. So anyway, that's my memories of St. Louis / St. Joseph's.
So the whole point of this is I had one experience in St. Louis as well, and again, it was not necessarily a great story, but I've had more fun in Chicago than I have in St. Louis. It's just flat out how it is.
Chicago's a great city.
Yeah. So I mean, I can understand what they're saying. We have to bring this back to baseball at some point, though.
Okay. I don't like anybody in this game.
Me neither. I don't trust. Darvish is off the first time all year that he went 7 innings. And he only walked 2 batters in that game, but he gave up 3 dingers.
Yeah.
All right, well, you got your control problems down, but hard for me to trust either squad. And I don't want the over because it's hard to trust. I mean, the Cubs lineup isn't hitting right now.
No.
The Cards lineup hasn't hit all month. Pass.
Phillies and Dodgers, another good series opening up this weekend because, look, if you're making out a list of potential NLCS participants, these two might be the top 2.
Oh, live.
Now, the Dodgers certainly look like the best team in the league, and the Phillies, I think, kind of look like the second best team in the league right now. So we got a fun series. The veteran Jake Arrieta on the mound for the Phillies. Kenta Maeda is back on the hill for the Dodgers. I think it's a tough one because you do have to adjust for the Phillies based on what kind of a run Bryce Harper's on. When he's cold, he's a real hole in the lineup. When he's hot, and he is really hot right now, man, I'm telling you, that whole lineup becomes really dangerous. And I think Bryce is going to have a big weekend. He's going to have a lot of fans there because, obviously, he's from here. A lot of locals will get out to Dodger Stadium and be rooting for Bryce this weekend. This is going to be fun. I think the Phillies are live tonight. I didn't play it, but that's the side I was considering.
Well, again, talking about betting strategies, it feels to me like these two lineups. I mean, the Dodgers lineup's as good as any, this side of the Astros, and better now that Houston's is hurt, and the Cubs is a little bit cold. So, LA's just crushing every mediocre pitcher they see. And
No, this is the interesting part, because Jake Arrieta is kind of mediocre at this point, but he still can become Jake Arrieta in a big game. He loves that spotlight.
These are two bullpens that I look as very, very vulnerable in this series.
Oh, I agree.
And if I'm going to do one thing for this 3-game set, I'm playing the over every game.
There you go.
You know, I mean, these are good lineups. And even when you have aces on the hill for the Dodgers, they're still a threat to go over the total. You know, in games where both the Dodgers and their opponents have scored 2 or more, they're going over like more than 75% of the time. And it's hard to envision these two lineups being held to 2 runs or less very much this weekend.
Another good series. Got underway last night with a blowout win by Tampa Bay. The Rays are red hot. They've won 6 in a row. They will send their primary opener to the mound tonight, Ryan Stanek.
Can we call him an ace? Are we allowed to call someone like Stanek an ace? Yeah, but every time he pitches, they win. And he doesn't give up any runs.
I think 12-1 at home going back to last year. Jalen Beeks has pitched well in 5 of his last 6 long relief appearances. Following Stanek, the Twins can have some troubles with lefties. And at some point, they have to start missing Cruz and Garver, who are expected back on this road trip. But, you know, boy, I mean, talk about a team just killing the ball and missing 2 of their better components. It's amazing. Tampa, however, looks like they're a little short-handed tonight because Avisail Garcia and Tommy Pham are both not in the lineup tonight. Now, this team is so versatile. I don't look at any one guy as a must-have in the lineup for Tampa. I don't even make an adjustment in the price. But those are 2 good hitters who've been hitting 1-2 lately in the order, so it could have an impact. Nevertheless, there's no way I can go against Stanek at home. Stanek/Beeks. And if you're going to catch Jose Barrios in a go-against spot, I guess it's right now because his control's been good, so I think it's just a blip. But he's been hit a little bit lately.
Yeah, he's been much more hittable the last few starts than he was for about, a month-long or 6-week span back in April and early May. But it's interesting, okay? I always like to look at some of the histories of pitchers against their opposing lineups and the opposing teams. And you see Barrios has this terrible track record against Tampa, an ERA over 8. And then you actually look at the batter versus pitcher stuff, and, they got an OPS of 505 against him. It's nothing. So you don't worry at all about the ERA. It almost cancels out the other stat.
He might not like pitching indoors. He's had 3 dome starts in his career, and he's lost them all with a high ERA. So maybe that means something.
But the bigger concern for me, and I get concern is not the right word. Minnesota's been feasting on the weak of the AL Central, and Tampa is battle-tested against the strength of the AL East, and it's just that simple to me right now. I think the Rays, even though their records are very comparable, I think Minnesota's they're ready to come back to earth a little bit, and Tampa's going to be there. So in this series, in general, it's Rays or pass for me.
And Brad Peacock on the mound against Mr. No-Hitter Mike Fiers for the Oakland A's. Peacock will not have his usual supporting cast in place here. The Astros are minus 3 key offensive components. Altuve's been out for a while, Springer's been out for a while, and now Carlos Correa's going to be out for a while. They've got good replacements. I mean, it's not like they're bringing up a bunch of stiffs. But that's still a hit to the lineup. Nevertheless, Peacock, not a guy I'm anxious to go against right now. He is on fire for the Astros.
And he's a guy that doesn't have the advanced metrics that the markets love, and that's why you're seeing Houston, in this minus 125 range tonight, which is not a range we're used to seeing the Astros, even on the road. But that being said, the losses that they've suffered in their lineup is affecting them. I mean, they're not hitting. You can't. You take out Springer and Altuve and Correa. You can't not miss that trio. I mean, as much as the Yankees didn't miss Judge and Stanton and all that, right now it's an Astros team where they scored 4 or less, 7 of the last 8. I think either 6 of the last 8.
And listen, if the right Mike Fiers shows up, we know what he's capable of. It's a crapshoot with Fiers because when he gets up in the strike zone and the fly balls start getting launched, they leave. But
he had an awful start against the Astros earlier this year where he didn't make it out of the second inning. And if you watch that start, it'd probably be difficult to take the A's tonight, even at the plus price. On the other hand, Oakland's played pretty good baseball lately. What are they, 10-2? They had a 10-game winning streak.
Right. I mean, the extra inning loss to the Angels the other day was seriously ugly. I mean, the 5-run, what was the 11th inning for the Angels? I mean, it was colossal. Colossally bad baseball on the part of Oakland. The Angels scored 5 runs on 2 singles. Errors, walks, hit batters. It was like everything just, the roof caved in. But they're a good baseball team right now.
I'd rather have, as good as the Astros are, and as much as I'm not interested in betting against Peacock, A's are not a team I'm looking to fade. I can only take Oakland in this ballgame.
We don't have. Do you have anything that you've gotten in terms of information? Because I know you're not a soccer guy, neither am I. But have you heard any good opinions or input on Liverpool and Tottenham? Because that's going to be. This is going to be a very heavily bet game tomorrow. We're talking about. It's being compared to like a Week 6 level NFL regular season game.
Yeah, but
that's a big handle.
The handle's through the roof on this contest. But in terms of opinions, I'm certainly the wrong guy to ask that. No. How about you?
Neither do I. No, I don't. What do I know? I know they got to kick the ball or use their head. They can't use their hands. That's not legal. Outside of that, I can't tell you anything. The Beatles are from Liverpool. So I am a Beatles fan, so I suppose, therefore, I give the nod to Liverpool.
I can give you the number. We're talking about the Liverpool as a little bit of chalky, minus 120 on the 3-way line.
I think the hoist the trophy. Some of the houses have hoist the trophy, so it's less confusing for bettors, and you're just picking whoever
right,
comes
with
up.
draw not being a piece of the equation, right? But those aren't the odds I'm looking at my live odds screen right now.
But that looks like it might be an exceedingly popular option around town.
It wouldn't shock me. And in which case you're laying a price, obviously.
Sure.
With Liverpool, Tottenham, about a 3-1 dog to win this match.
What's the price on whether I will watch the game or not?
How much of the game? Match, by the way. It's a match.
You just became plus even in a big way if you're going with the won't go.
You calling it a game versus a match? Yeah, change the number.
Good tip off right there.
Yeah. So the no becomes, instead of going from even money, goes to minus 1,000.
Yes, and cheap at the price. We'll come back. We'll take a look at.
It's like me in a chugging contest.
John Lyons is coming in.
Yeah,
we'll have John with us in just a couple of minutes. We'll come right back with that.
The Las Vegas Sportsline.
Hey, Vegas, join me, Clay Baker, and ESPN Radio this Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. for a charity car wash at the Westgate's Convention Center parking lot. That's on Paradise, right before the Westgate entrance. Only $10 and proceeds go to Veterans Village. Everyone gets free tickets for Sexy the Show. Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Westgate Convention Center parking lot.
I'm Derek England, and Vegas is my home. I work here, I play here, I even get my cars here. Findlay Kia is my dealership. I appreciate the fact that they're Vegas born and bred. Whether you're looking for a fun-to-drive compact like the Kia Soul, a mid-size SUV like the Kia Sorento, or a performance luxury car like the Kia Stinger, come see Findlay Kia. Getting it right is their driving ambition, and I know a little something about that.
I'm Dave Cokin with Cliff Miller from MJ Christensen Diamonds. This is my favorite one to talk about, diamonds from outer space.
Oh, moissanite. And it is popular with a certain sect. A lot of ladies, if it's not a diamond, it's not going to happen. So from space or wherever it's from, no moissanite for them. But it is a greatly, highly dispersive stone that can be enjoyed.
MJ Christensen, something special for the love of your life. Located at Boca Park.
Hey, it's Steve Cofield. Make plans to join me, Adam Hill, and the rest of the Cofield & Company crew this Friday as we kick off the weekend at Crazy Horse 3. No better way to do it. Free admission, open bar. That's right, open bar for 3 hours, $5 food, and plenty of prizes. Yep, it's an open bar. During Cofield & Company, plus the guy who brings the biggest crew will receive $100 in diamond dollars from Crazy Horse 3. Happy Hour Fridays, 3 o'clock, Crazy Horse 3 on Russell across from the new Raiders Stadium with ESPN Las Vegas.
Attention, if you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down this year by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you'd better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They are experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, even tens of thousands. Optima's resolved over $500 million of tax debt for their clients. They have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and will fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now.